What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Formula. We're breaking down the formula of business, formula of success, formula to life, and always maintaining that the constant is you. You already know who I am, Gary Luima, and we got
RJ Deed here.
Yes, sir. And we getting into a whole nother topic with the formula, another piece of the formula of this thing, demystifying the game. With that being said, we both know entrepreneurship is a lonely journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're doing this thing by yourself. God gave you the vision. Your family gave you the vision. You were inspired by something, but the vision's in your head and you're trying to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but even though it's like a lonely journey, you still need people to keep that journey going. You know, and you really just can't do this thing alone.
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's even with being said, right? I feel like it's important to even recognize that you can't do it alone, right? Because that's a form of just humility, right? Being humble. You know, just in general in life, you can't do anything on your own. Just that alone, that form of humility, that gives you strength. You know what I mean? So just, you know what I mean? Like that's just like how I believe. Because like sometimes when you have that humility, then you learn more. Yeah. Then you get help, and then you're able to do more. Yeah. You know. 1,000. So with being humble enough to say like, hey, all right, I'm great at production. I'm great at putting together a production, but I don't know how to shoot, like actually do the cinematography for or film or direct the film. So just in myself being like, hey, you know, in my role, I know what I'm really, really good at, having the vision, putting the team together, But when it comes to directing a film or doing the cinematography, I had to take a moment and be like, hey, I can't do this on my own.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not really about me, right? And my ego, the goal is to help someone create like a really great quality image that they can use to market their business. So it's not even about me and my ego. So like me being humble enough to say, hey, Raul, like I need a director that could come together on this project. Let's put this together. Let's edit this thing up. Let's make it happen, right?
Yeah.
That makes the end product that much better.
Exactly.
That makes the experience that much better. That makes the client even more happier because they have a better product that they can then use on this advertising campaign, right? So,
that's facts.
Yeah,
that's facts. That's facts. Because like once you start delegating those tasks, you really focus in on the things that you're good at, and other people can start to focus in on what they're good at too. And I guess in my world as well, like it does get. You have to wear so many hats all the time. Your head get heavy, you know. So if I'm in the courtroom arguing a case, going to a hearing, my phone's still going off because people are still trying to call me to get services. If I'm on that call to figure out what this person needs and doing a consultation, I still got an email I got to answer. And while I'm answering that email, I still got to draft the contract. While I'm drafting that contract, I still got to draft the motion. There's so many things to do all the time. You got to be really good with the time management. But when you start to delegate those tasks, you really start to narrow in on things. You really start to specialize and build different parts of your business and allow other people to build different parts of your business too. You ain't got to carry this whole thing alone. And it's something just reminded me too. I was on Instagram the other day. You know, they be having people just walking through the mall, asking people questions and stuff. This one dude's asking like, how'd you get your money? And dude's like, he started off in real estate and doing all different things, putting houses on the contract, wholesale real estate, all that stuff. But he said, this guy was breaking down, you can make your first $1 million by yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard as hell, but you can really do that by yourself. If you want to get to that 1 million, to that 10 million, you got to start multiplying yourself, right? You got to start adding more people. You started adding people who had more knowledge and things that he already knew, like finances. So he knows some finances, so he hired somebody who has a degree in finances. You take off and run it. You build this part of the business. He had some knowledge of marketing because he had a marketing business. He hired somebody who does marketing. You take off and do this, and so on and so forth. And when you start doing that, you start to split up the pie, but the pie gets bigger. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that really takes it off. But the problem is, though, we all going to run into good help is hard to find.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You know, and you, oh, dang, he said this too. I guess this segues right into it. You saw like McDonald's last forever. People who work at McDonald's, for the most part, they're there for a year, 5 months, but they're still cranking out burgers. You know what I'm saying? So good help is hard to find. And we got to digest. How do How do we, or what are your thoughts on identifying good help?
Good help. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one step back before even going into that.
Let's get it.
All right, because like how you said about McDonald's, you said McDonald's, they have a lot of new people are always going in and out of there, but their burgers stay the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that? Why is their burgers still staying the same, even though they have employees that only stay there a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever?
Exactly.
Right? It's their SOP. You know, understanding, like, breaking down your SOP. And I feel like before, and that was,
you can't be dropping. There it is.
Standard operating procedure,
there
right?
Is,
Having
yes.
a standard operating procedure for everything that you do in your company. So, say for instance, for me, taking a picture at an event, so event photography, right? So it's a standard operating procedure, content factory way of how we capture and do event photography. So any photographer that works with us, we have a SOP that we walk and talk together through the whole breakdown of how we cover events. And if you do these things right here on this standard operating procedure for event, it's 100% chance you're gonna do great. 100% chance. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Trust me, I've been doing it for a long time, so I guarantee if you stick to these 8 or these types of shots that I show you, that's what's gonna work. And a lot of people don't even think about it that far, but like with making a fry, the way they make the fries and they dump the fries inside there, the amount of time that you keep the fries in there, that is a time. You may think that, oh, it's just dumping fries, but no. How do they keep that consistency across the whole entire brand, across the nation?
That is
right.
Internationally.
Internationally.
I go to Japan, I know the fries gonna hit.
Yeah. And it's like, in order to be able to do that, a lot of times we want to hire people or bring on new team members. And I learned very quickly, you got to have a standard operating procedure, because it's like, they're like, okay, so how do you do this? Like, you need to be able to like produce that same quality of work that your client always expect. You feel what I'm saying? And in order to do that, if you're bringing on a team member, you have to have some type of instruction to show them like, hey, this is our way of doing things. You know, so I feel like first having like a really great standard operating procedure for everything that you're doing in the company. So for us, we do photography, video production, events, all that. So we have SOPs for that. And then from there, what was the I wanted to get into that first before we went into the.
Oh, just talking about the turnover, you know what I'm saying, as far as people not staying for a long time. But that was a pretty good breakdown, because the goal is to have that business, whether it be you want generational wealth, but you want it to be long-standing, you want longevity and sustainability. And within that sustainability and longevity, there's going to be people come on, people come off. But the business is going to stay the same. It's going to produce that amazing product, even more so, become even better. But what Future said, one monkey don't stop the circus, one monkey don't stop the show. Like, just because one person falls off or one person is developing within your business and they find another opportunity, that shouldn't derail the whole thing. So that's pretty huge. McDonald's definitely dropped a huge example on that, because I don't know how many years McDonald's been around, maybe 50, 60, 70 years, whatever it is. But it's still cranking out the same burgers, same whatever, and it's still innovating.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's so deep, because like we look at McDonald's as all these different buildings. If we look at McDonald's, it's really just a stack of papers like this, right? Because really, when you look at your business, your business is not really like, oh, content factory or these different buildings or even general provision. It's their stack of standard operating procedures and their law and legal documents. That's literally what the business is, just a stack of papers. This much of papers, that's your business. So McDonald's, they be looking at it like, nah, it's just their standard operating procedure. KFC, it's the way they make that chicken. That's the whole business.
That's
Not
facts.
everything is built off of that documentation. So a lot of times we want to build everything else and not like focus on that. And I know you loving it, because that's your world.
As legal talk, man, because I mean, what you're describing has so many different this little thing, you know what I'm saying? Literally, it can be this thick. We're talking about your operating agreement, partnership agreement, your bylaws, how you run things, and then you get deeper into the intellectual property, right, of that business. So like how the burgers are made, who we buying it from, the system to even make the burgers. I don't know if anybody's seen that McDonald's documentary. I forgot what it's called. They had a documentary, I believe it's on Netflix, Founder or something of that nature.
Okay, yeah.
And before they built the first building, they had a chalk outline of the kitchen, and they had guys pretending to make food. So they had to get a system down of how to make fast food.
Yeah.
So they created the concept of fast food. So when I squirt this 2 times, you go this way, I go this way, I put this thing. It's like a concert. It's like a dance over and over again. And you look back at any restaurant, McDonald's really pioneered it, a Burger King, a KFC, or whatever. They have that system down pat. You know what I'm saying? And you learn that on the onboarding segment of that employee going into the company. You're learning how to do that dance within the company to produce that same product, so you can have that consistency and have that and adhere to that little piece of not even little, the business itself.
Yeah.
That stack of papers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole business.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as like turnover for me, I don't have like full-time employees. Right now we're not at that space.
Yeah.
Right now we're mainly at a space where we have contractors, subcontractors, and partnerships with creative agencies. So we're able to like basically do everything in that whole space of, you know, whether it's social media, production, you know, newsletter, everything in that space. But they just, instead of having to hire 5 different agencies, they just go to us, and we have that whole like team to basically fulfill on that.
Yeah.
So as far as when it comes to contractors, when I'm looking for a contractor, my process is kind of slow because I got to talk to them. I got to like have a conversation with them, see what their goals are, see what they're trying to do in the next 5-10 years, see what their ambitions are, what's their drive beyond. I do like a little process called dream boarding.
Okay.
So it's like, what's your big dream? You know, what's your big dream? So if I'm looking for a partner to work with, whether you're a photographer or videographer, and I say, hey, what's your big dream? And you say your big dream is to be a construction worker.
Okay.
Right? The best construction worker in the world.
Yeah.
So I can't help you with that big dream. So that just identify that, okay, he wants to be a construction worker.
Yeah.
I'm in video and production.
Yeah.
The best I could do right now is connect you with somebody else that could possibly help you with that dream. I can't help you with that dream. So I always like to see like what's their overall vision overall, you know what I mean? Like, to travel and be able to work from anywhere. So now that let me know that maybe production won't be his best position, maybe video editing or social media. Yeah. You know, because you could work from anywhere managing social media or editing videos, you know, and still make a feasible good amount, right? So, like, I like to do that first. That's kind of like how I see like what they're about, and then after that, it's kind of just taking them through the process of like, okay, so we have weekly like sessions, like weekly learning sessions, like seeing like how they take to the information and things like that. Yeah. So that's like the second level is like, okay, we do those weekly trainings on production or editing or whatever the case may be, see how they react to that. Yeah. A lot of people are excited in that part because they're getting information and they're excited or whatever the case may be. But then the third level for me is how they act on set. Yeah. So I got to get them on set as soon as possible. I try to get them on set just to observe how they interact, how they act to new things that they don't know, how much they pay attention, if they just know how to like play their role, even if it's just one thing that they need to be doing, how they operate being uncomfortable because it's something that you don't know. Yeah. So just seeing that and seeing them doing improv and figuring that out, that's another way where
that's good. You're constantly assessing them in different environments to figure out what they can handle, what they can't handle. Yeah. And see how they fit in. Yeah. Yeah. That's real. Yeah. I mean, similar in my world as well. I don't have any employees at the moment, but I do work on a lot of projects where I'm working with more than one attorney. I'm working with CPAs. I'm working with business evaluators. I'm working with accountants. I'm working with a marketing team. I'm working with whoever. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of that team, and it's even though we know it's for a temporary amount of time for that project, we still have to have that goal, and we still have to see how each other works. Because if I know this person is not going to respond relatively quickly, I'm just going to subvert them. I'm going to speak to their assistant. I'm going to speak to somebody who works for them who's going to get them the information a lot quicker than I can. Or if I'm going to court, we have more than one attorney working on one particular case. We have to figure out what our strengths are, what's our capacity. You know what I'm saying? Within that case, in order to get the best result, because that's what we're all driven for. But that's in a microcosm in my world. But in addition to my world as well, I'm advising businesses, and I see the turnover over and over again. Like, there's some businesses who they've been around for 40, 50 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be, but they're constantly cranking out employees, constantly cranking out independent contractors for a million reasons. And what you said was huge in the sense of, like, this person's ultimate goal is to be a construction worker. I can't really help you. You know what I'm saying? Because our job here is to create content. In the same way, you got to find what motivates that person. You really got to find what motivates that person, because if your vision doesn't motivate them to come to work, it's going to be hard for them to buy in, right? So if they're not bought into the vision, they're bought into the concept of the job, right? So, and then it gets down to really base things. Is it money? You know, is it something I need to do? Is another thing to check off? Is it I just need to keep my apartment? I just need to keep my home. I just need to eat. And then once those things are fulfilled, they're going to start re-examining their position on the job. Like, okay, I saved enough money to buy the car. Do I really want to work here? You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, this is the vision. And I'm really invested into Gary's vision. I'm really invested into RJ's vision. And I'm here. All right, okay, I got some money. I bought the car, whatever, but I'm still here because I'm invested into the vision. That's more sustainable. You know what I'm saying? So it is huge to find the motivations of people, because once they're not motivated to work for you, because their motivations is attached to something temporary, then they out. They are out of there. You know what I'm saying? So it's huge for you to identify that early on, that dream board. How do you see yourself? What are your thoughts, your goals? And then seeing how they operate in those different environments, under some stress, under some comfort, under some whatever it is, so you can really get a gauge of that person to see how can this person add on to the system that you to your business. You know, the little stack of documents. How can they add into that? You know, so that's definitely huge, major.
Yeah, 100%. And then even just talking about hiring a little bit too, just to speak from the other standpoint for like a business that's looking to, let's say, add a content creator to their business or a social media team to their business, things like that. I always like for businesses to kind of have their understanding of what they want, their own branding, their own like say for instance, okay, what is my brand guideline? Okay. So if you want to work with, let's say you need to get a social media manager to start posting on your behalf. You already got content. You just need somebody to manage the social media and like curate all the content that you have. Yeah. First, setting aside, okay, like what does that budget look like? Yeah. How much I want to spend on having a social media manager run our social media management. And then like, okay, I know the budget. What do I want to get from that budget? 3 posts a week, 5 posts a week. I want a lot of graphics. I want video edits. What does that look like? Yeah. Right. And then after that, it's like, okay, what do you have a brand guideline? So when you're reaching out to a social media manager, if you already have a brand guideline, you could just say, hey, this is my brand guideline. Yeah. And things like, okay, do you have an audience profile? Yeah. You know, do you have messaging? Like, what's the messaging that you want to highlight? Yeah. What's the educational points? What's the, you know, like all of those information is important to have. Now, if you don't have that before going into any form of content creation, social media, video production, photography, and this is our philosophy, Content Factory way. Other social media teams or content creators may go about it differently. Yeah. For us, it's important to establish a strategy first before we post or do a picture or video. Okay. Right? Because like, if we don't have an understanding of the brand guideline, we don't understand the customers, the audience that's going to be consuming and watching these videos, we don't understand the platforms that we're going to be distributing the videos on, then you're going to be creating photos and videos with no assurance that these videos are actually going to resonate with the audience that you're hoping to resonate with. Yeah. So it's always important to start with strategy first, to have a plan on like, okay, this is my audience. This is the message that I want to convey to my audience. This is how I want them to feel when they digest this message. This is what I want them to do after they digest this message. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you got to have like clarity, not only because even when you hire a social media person, he's not working by himself. Exactly. You know, there's a lot that goes into social media, like the graphic design, right? The captions, the hashtag research, the tracking and keeping track of the analytics and all of that. So just with like working with any creative team, whether it's a photographer, a videographer, it's like important that you have your ducks in the line and not just saying, hey, I want a video. Right? Yeah. Because it's like, okay, you want a video, but what do you want this video for? I can make you a video, but for us, we want our video to be a success. 100%. Right? Because the more that our videos be a success, the more that we have a case study, the more that we have proof that this actually works. Now, I don't want it to flop. Right? So you just saying, hey, I want to make a video just for social media. You're risking a chance of you might flop because you didn't do you don't have no strategy behind the production. You just kind of made like a bunch of fancy shots, put it together, put some music behind it, and put it out for it, and hope that it will work. So for hiring like anything, whether it's Upwork, whether it's working with a creative agency, just having a feel of like, okay, those things of like, okay, this is my budget. This is what I want from the budget. This is our brand guideline and our audience and the message. Like, and if you don't have that, looking for somebody that can help you develop your brand guideline or your brand strategy and content strategy first before going into production. Because once you have that, then you could work with an actual video production team and say, hey, this is my message. This is what I'm trying to convey. And I need to put together a 30-second commercial that would help them do this or that. Without that, then we'll have to figure that out. You know, we can't just make a video without understanding the purpose and like all of those things goes into production.
You
know,
don't have no direction. You got no direction if you don't understand like the baseline, where it's coming from and where they're headed.
Exactly.
That's facts.
Yeah, and what would you say in the same regards when it comes to, you know, whether it's hiring someone to a financial advisor or a business counsel or any other parts of the team?
With that, we definitely got to look at who that person is because in this industry, you can get in a lot of trouble. There's a whole lot of trouble if you're not doing things in the right way. So what I mean by that is integrity, because I have a license, you know, to practice law. If, let's say, I'm conducting a transaction, somebody comes to me on the side who's on that team working that transaction, and they're trying to suggest an idea that is like right under the radar. You know what I'm saying? I got to take a pause, look at you sideways a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So we got to know what their motivations are in addition to how that aligns with the bottom line project, what we're doing, if that makes any sense too. So I tend to work with people, of course, who have a good reputation. I think I said this on the other episode. Shout out to Professor Reyes, FAMU College of Law. Hopefully she's still teaching there. my evidence professor. So there's a difference between opinion and reputation. Opinion is what I think of you. Reputation is what the community thinks of you. So we're dealing with people and dealing with a very sensitive, like a litigation, a transaction, anything that would put my license on the line, my firm on the line. You need to have a good reputation of doing what you do. There's a lot of people who do things well, but can get you into some trouble. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who have quote unquote success but get you into some trouble. So the first thing is looking at, of course, their reputation. Can they be recommended by somebody who I know in my circle who also has a good reputation as well? You know, and I believe that good people know good people. You know, and once that's established, everybody's on the same page. We're not trying to do anything illegal. We're not trying to do anything unethical. We're not trying to skim over anything. Then we could focus on the mission or the project at that particular time, and get that output, you know, that we want to talk about, they want to get into, you know. And we were talking before too, as we add on people to the team, right? We're trying to identify those things, but there are these prototypes that we get into. And you're talking about A players, B players, C players. Like, what's that all about, right there?
Yeah. So like with Content Factory, it's a lot of moving parts, and it's a creative agency, so. It takes a team to kind of like make things happen. So like we're always training and developing new creators, working with new creatives and things like that. So we're always looking for key things. Now, I've always been like that because I'm always like a super recruiter, like, you know what I mean? From football days to now, right? To track and field, all that good stuff, right? But so like when it comes to like certain players and stuff like that, it's kind of identifying their strengths, their weaknesses, and just like I said with the dream board, you know, after I say like, what's your big dream? I ask them, okay, you know, like, what's your goal in 5 years? You know, okay, and then it's like, okay, what's in the way of stopping you from achieving those goals? What can we do to help you get there? You see what I'm saying? Things like that. That gives us a lot of information as far as like what we can do to help them hit their goals. So that gives me a good basis of like, okay, where they at with everything. But like once I identify exactly like, so let's break down this A player, B player, C player, right? So a C player to me is someone that comes to us as like an intern. You know, they could still be in high school. You know, they could be in college. Basically, they probably have a camera, but they never worked on set. They've never been paid for a production. Like nobody, they don't have their own clients. They don't have people coming to them working on productions. They haven't worked on sets of productions. They've probably been on 2 or 3 sets. They're like earlier on in the phase. They're watching YouTube. They're trying to learn how to create content. They have the whole theory and idea of production, so they feel like they're a director and all of these titles that they're just like messing around with, photographer, or I'm a videographer, all these things, but they haven't really like been hired for that. So that's like a C player.
So somebody who's like motivated but no experience.
No experience.
Okay, cool.
So that's someone that you got to basically like someone that we train or educate or like take them through some of our courses, bring them on set. Might be production assistant, might be DIT, might be behind the scene. So, so production assistant is a PA. So production assistant kind of just assists on production. DIT is a digital information tech. So he basically on set he archives all of the footage, make sure everything is archived on the hard drive. All of the audios, everything is like organized and because there's multiple cameras that we're usually working with on sets. So that's an important role. You know what I mean? It's organization, 100%. You know, and keeping the track of everything. So it's a super important role. And behind the scenes camera, like so capturing the behind the scenes camera of us actually working on set. So that way we can use that for marketing materials on social media and things like that in the future. So like that's kind of like where they'll start out at, so that way they could get some information. Then second they'll move up into like second camera, you know, working with Raul or working with Ari, and then being like the second camera of, you know, of the shot of the event, and then just, you know what I mean, basically learn from there to the point where they could go and handle the event on their own and stuff like that. So that's like a C player. They go through the process. Usually takes about 6 months to a year for a C player to potentially be an A player. You feel what I'm saying? And they already have certain traits already in them. They self-motivated. Even if they don't know something, they're willing to like go on YouTube, do the work to learn and do the research, and they're willing to actually test out those theories. So that's some of the things that I look for. They just like real good dudes, and they like excellence. Like they're a fan of like trying to develop their skills so they could be excellent at it. So that's the desire that I look for as a C player. But they just basically need training. That's it. A B player is someone that's a B player is basically a photographer, a videographer that knows how to shoot, that knows how to do their job. Where a video editor, anybody, any social media person know how to do their job well. But they're not gonna come in there and be like, hey, like with suggestions and forethinking type of thing. They're more like, okay, what's the shots you need to get done? How do you need those shots? I'm gonna get them done shots well. You're
a straight shooter. It's just, I know I can rely on this person. They're gonna get the job done. And if I need A, B, and C, they're pulling up with A, B, and C off the rip.
That's like he's just solid photographer, event photographer. He's just coming with it. You know, A player now is like someone that's that plus a manager.
Okay.
You know, then can manage a team of
Okay.
creatives.
Okay.
You know, then can manage a project.
Yeah.
You know, or can manage multiple projects,
Okay,
or
cool.
even on a project is like, hey, even if it's just one sentence, know how to just like listen and digest everything and be like, okay, maybe we should add this in there. That's an A player that could recognize, see the scope of work, and know how to add an ingredient to make the project better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the additional part. Like, okay, you know how to shoot, but I'm talking about on the overall scale of like marketing, sales, managing the team, keeping everybody motivated.
Yeah.
Like he's almost like a coach, like
Yeah.
a team lead, like
Yeah.
someone that's like, okay, he's a creative, but then he's also like a team lead. So he's like, you know, keep the morale up, keep everybody motivated, help anybody that need help finishing a task, make everybody feel heard.
Okay.
Like it's like more than just like he does communication. It's not just like
You fire everybody up.
yeah.
Like,
it's like it's more than just being a creative.
Sports wise, he's in the huddle, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this thing going, calling plays, shooting it. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even with all that, like there's hard skills, there's soft skills. You know what I'm saying? Those hard skills you get up and learn. Like we go on to YouTube, we go to the school, we, craft these skills, everything of that nature, those hard skills, but those soft skills, that communication, that keeping everybody motivated, that just I call it quarterbacking. Like you before the play even start, you're like, hey, change your route. Because I see this coming. You know what I'm saying? There's a blitz on this side. We need to change protection this way. Like he's calling the plays, everything like that. Those are people could try to say those are hard skills, but they're not. Because like if you look at sports, everybody's not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's something that you have to have internally. So you kind of marry your hard skills because you know how to adjust and change the things, whether it be in business or otherwise. But actually having the skill set, the motivation, the courage, the leadership to do those things and to communicate those things as well. Those are things that can't be coached, those intangibles. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be something that a lot of business owners are looking for, those intangibles within people that you're adding to the team, you're adding to the vision. You know, because you can have, we do this all the time. This is why we go so hard for school. You got to have this degree, then get that degree, and then know this person, and then have this thing, and have this thing, just so you get a shot through the door. So people will look at your resume and see, well, he checked off everything off the list. But there's so many intangibles that you can't reduce to a resume. You know, and I like how your example, we were talking about seeing people work in different environments, because you can't see that off the interview. You can't, yeah, of course I take pictures. Of course. Don't you see this? Don't you see that? But then, okay, let me put you out there. I need help. I need help. Like, okay, now I can see it. Now we can work on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think those intangibles, I think that's the part where people, I don't want to say mess up on, but that might be the part where business owners need to do better on, as far as adding people to the team and try to identify what those intangibles are. You know, so that way we can see, because in my world, everybody, if you're a lawyer, you have a license, that means you finished law school. You went, and that means that you went to college.
Yeah.
And that means that you passed the bar. So when I speak this legal talk, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
But how come some lawyers are here, some lawyers are there, some lawyers in between, and everything of that nature? It's simply because those soft skills again. How can you navigate certain situations? What is your responses to business? What are your responses to failures? Responses to victory? I've seen people, I've seen some lawyers win big. Like, I don't got to work. My grandchildren don't got to work. Great don't got to work. You know what I'm saying? And then they lose everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's inside you? What are those soft skills in terms of like how you react to those victories, those losses, working with other people? Sometimes we blame the employees. Why there's so much turnover? But like, we gotta look at people who hired them.
Yeah, even the onboarding process too.
Oh, wow.
You know, sometimes it's like setting up that environment for them to, for them to see, for you to be able to like observe. You know how they have that 3-month probation period. You just gotta give that 3-month probation period to everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, don't think you part of the team yet. You know what I mean? You already like, oh, content. And then when you get out there, you look like you like a deer in headlights.
Oh,
You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a director, filming and all this.
Yeah.
Man, if you don't send my shirt back,
Yeah, I need that back.
I need that. Nah, for real, I need that shirt back.
Yeah. Don't come out
I got a couple of shirts
representing
out
us.
there, man.
Yeah,
But it's
trying to profit off the brand. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but nah,
that's real.
it's all good. But they have good intention. You know, they wanted to. You know, a lot of times that's why I say. A lot of times when people have conversations with me and things like that, when it's like it's good to have it in theory and have an idea of it and say, hey, you should start this, you should start the online course, you should be doing this, doing that.
Yeah,
it's yes, but you're talking from a standpoint of not being willing, understanding the process to get there. Yeah, for sure, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
But it's a process to get there.
Yeah.
So we're along the process of already going there. But a lot of times people will just be from the outside, even though you're on the process, they'll be like, oh, you should be doing this. It's like, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to just happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
I'm already on the process, building the blocks to make that happen in a reality sense, not just from like, oh, you could just do this, do this. That's not how it works. It's like, okay, we have an idea. We have these 5 ideas. And even as entrepreneurs, that's what we have to like have the discernment to understand it. Like, we have these 5 marketing ideas, or we have these 5 services that we want to market all of these services. But the thing is, we got to be able to discern and be like, hey, this is the one that we're going to focus on. This is the one service we're going to focus on. Yeah. This is the marketing and everything we're going to focus on the marketing for this one service. Yeah. And put all of our energy behind that, because you only have so much energy.
That's facts.
Right? So if you invest that energy into like so many different things at once, you're not going to be able to perform well.
Nothing's going
to you're not going to perform well.
You got too many pots on the stove. Yeah, nothing's getting hot.
Yeah. So it's like that's the main thing, is understanding and picking the ideas. Like, okay, they see the podcast, they see us recording. At least they see the behind the scenes, right? Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast? Y'all should be doing this. Y'all should be doing. I'm not sure what you're hearing, but they probably say, oh, y'all should be doing. Oh, y'all could be doing. Right. Y'all could be going so much bigger. I see, but it's like, yeah, for sure. That's what we're gonna be doing. Yeah. Like, for me as a visionary, it's like, okay, if you come in with that, let's sit down, let's get to the boardroom, look at what we have already, look at what we're doing right now, and contribute to that on like what we're the steps that we're taking. Because we're not just talking about, oh, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. Yeah. What we did, we got on the whiteboard, and we drew it up.
Yeah. And we followed the plan.
Yeah.
Followed the plan.
Yeah. And then the formula.
That's the thing. We made a formula, we sticking to it, man. That's what it comes down to. You know, and even in starting up this podcast, you bringing in your expertise, I'm bringing in my expertise as well. We putting it all together. It's about sticking to it. It's about sticking to it. And I can relate back to the system, as far as with business owners and integrating new people into that system. Is the employee, independent contractor, sticking to the system, and they're going to stick through it? Because things could be rocky. Those 90 days are there for a reason. Yeah. You're not going to walk in here and then think that you're going to make burgers the way you made burgers at home. You got to learn the system. Yeah. And at the same time, as the business owner or the hiring person, how much time are you going to give them to have that learning curve? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that contributes to the turnover as well. But it's something you were speaking about too as well. The environment is the boss, business owner, investor, whoever the case may be, the person who can make the decisions. Are they creating an environment? Because there's a legal word, hostile environment. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, there's a good working conditions. You know, are we creating good working conditions for those people, and then balancing what's good for the business versus what's good for the employee? Because the employee's gonna walk in, I need my benefits. I need a little leeway because I got to drop my son off at school. I need 2 hours for lunch. You know, I'm a slow eater. You know what I'm saying? I need 15-minute breaks. I like to be on Instagram. I need this. I need that. I need that. But then that's their motivation, their personal motivations. Whereas the business owner is like, I need to make this money. no matter what business you in.
I got to pay you. You talking about what?
Yeah.
That's why I haven't got to the point of having any kind of employees. I'm a it's like I look at myself almost as a contractor. It's like I only eat what I kill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what, lunch break? All right, cool, no problem. Take it as long as you want. Whenever you get the project done, that's when we all get paid. So
So it's on you, big fella. But that's real. That balance though, as a I mean, I can relate back to sports. Like you have coaches who are like really down for their player. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they down to make sure the players are comfortable and everything of that nature. Then you have some coaches, think of it like Greg Popovich out of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. He don't care what you got going on. Yeah. You could literally be Michael Jordan. You can be Kobe. You can be Shaq. You can be Tim Duncan, David Robinson. You can be whoever you need to be. He don't care. Kawhi Leonard. You could be in this system. You cannot be in the system. Mm-hmm. This thing going to work with or without you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that's somebody who's good for the business. But then on the other side of it, or even more specifically, because there's a lot more personality with it, the Patriots and Bill Belichick, right? You'll have people come out of the Patriots and say they hated it there because you had to do things a certain particular way, and there was no fun. Like Chad Ochocinco talks about it. Tom Brady talks about it. A lot of players talk about how it was not fun playing there, but you won. Mm-hmm. You had all the results, but then you go to other teams, other jobs, or whatever, and you have all this fun, but you don't have as many results. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's that balance, though, of am I going to be business-centric or employee-centric or worker-centric? Am I going to be liked or I'm going to be respected? There's so many different balances that you got to have, but you got to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. Because there's some people out there, and I'm going to learn this when I start hiring people as well. But for myself, I believe for me, I'm probably gonna lean more towards business centric because like if I'm focused on making the employees happy, I'm losing money and they may not be having the best output. If we're all focused on the vision and the business, of course, you can't treat everybody like a robot. You know what I'm saying? People have to have breaks. People have to have a certain workload, management, everything of that nature. They have families they got to take care of and actually be with, so they can't be in the law firm 80 hours a week, everything like that. But there has to be a balance, but I'm of the mindset of let's get to this money because that's why you came here. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go to these jobs and these other places of work, they're like, oh, come here, we're family. Y'all not a family. I don't know why people keep saying that. We could be cool. We could learn to integrate into each other's families. Sometimes relationships happen at work. Sometimes friendships rise from work, and that's great. When it comes down to the business of it, like if things go left, you out of there. I'm firing you, and I'm still gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? So I think I lean more towards the business centric side in a sense of we're here to make this money. We're here to make the impact they want to make. Get on board. This is how we do things. Yeah, there's some human aspects. Okay, you need a day off to go do this. You need some more time to. Okay, that's fine. But let's get these projects going. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And there's some people who become too employee centric. Now they're losing money. Their business could shut down. It's too employee centric because they're not having the same output, and but they're gonna be liked. Everybody gonna love him. Though. He was a great boss. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Like all that right there is the information. So all that sounds really is great for me. Yeah. As a producer, as a guy that's gonna be coming into your business and making photos, videos, and content creation for your business. Because now I understand your company culture. Okay. Right? Is it going to be more business centric or is it going to be more candid conversation? Is it more employee centric? Right? Like you're saying, it's like understanding that's how we creating all of our branding, all our messaging, all our story. But you knowing that for yourself, your brand story, your company culture, like, hey, this is more business centric. This is our vision statement. This is our mission statement. This is our origin story. I mean, this is our brand story. That don't only just work for creating content and marketing materials, but that also creates for setting the culture of what the company is about. So if anybody's looking to join or be a part of Content Factory, you know the vibe that we're coming with. Yeah. You know the energy. And if you ain't on that kind of vibe, you naturally gonna fall off because it's not for you. Yeah. We're cool. Like we're more candid, more like me and Raul, we always say it's having that level of professionalism and being personable, right? So yeah, it's great that we're very professional, but if we're just super professional, we're photographers and content creators. Yeah. Nobody is the vibe and the energy in the room is not going to be correct for us to even film and get the right type of images that we need to create for your website and stuff. So we have to bring that level of personality and to be able to lift the energy in the room and make sure everybody's comfortable, make sure everybody's in their right mindset, right performance, so that way we can get the shots. And all the employees, I don't care what they're going through, I'm gonna have to put on the right personality to get them to chime into like what we need for that moment to be able to capture and do all of the videos we need. That's like having that personality but professionalism. Now it's an extreme to that, right? So sometimes I've seen content creators take it too far and take the personality side way too far, where it's like, come on now, like we're still here to work. We're trying to like we have set time, like we have times that we need to be shooting in different places, and like it's just not a good look of the team, right? So it's like, anybody that works with us, they understand that. And it's like we putting them in them different environments to be able to like test them first. So they know like, oh, RJ, you got someone else that you're interning. Okay. All right, cool. So they know if they see him again, he probably have the right temperament of professionalism and personable. And it depends. Like some people might be might seem more professional, might be more laid back, but he still have jokes, you know what I mean? He still have some, like, he have some of the content factory thing where it's like, you know, we like to have fun.
You got to,
but we like to work too. So don't get it twisted. It's a lot of work.
And that's the part. Then that's that balance. That's that balance again. Like you really can. I worked with some law firms and been around some people who are extremely, you know, cookie cutter, boom, 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 boom. Nobody likes working like that.
No.
Nobody. Even in this profession, is very serious. It can be super serious in some instances, but nobody likes working like that for a long period of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have, whether it's integrated together or whether it's blocks of time where we decide this is the time for us to loosen the tie a little bit or whatever. It gotta be a balance. Even though I know I tend to lean more towards business centric, to say the least. Still got to have time for that. Still got to take a step back, talk, get outside of the work mindset, you know what I'm saying, and relate to that person, because everybody's people, everybody's going through different things. Everybody has something to share and learn and grow from, not just dealing with the business, but just from life itself.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
What activities do you like? So even though like, so we have activities as teams that we do as together, like it's like, okay, even if it's like, say for instance, a mastermind, like we're a group of people that are always working together. Let's do a mastermind together. You feel what I'm saying? Like, all right, like every month, let's meet up and just create content. You know, choose to create. Let's meet up once a month and just like learn something new or just like collaborate, network, whatever the case may be. Having, you know what I mean? Hey, let's meet up and you know, do bowling or something like that. You know what I mean? Create content while we're bowling or something like that. You know what I mean? Like having activities, and there's like even workshops. Like, okay, we're gonna do a 6-week. We're gonna do a 6-week workshop on social media. So the next 6 weeks, we're gonna be doing workshops with just team members. We're gonna be just going in depth with like social media. You know what I mean? Like on everything. Like, okay, we're gonna do 6 weeks on video editing. All right, we're gonna do 6 weeks on production, 6 weeks on events. You know what I mean? So whoever's coming in, they getting 6 weeks of something. Like what my boy Denzel Washington said.
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm from out the way.
Oh damn! Was that Jamie Foxx?
You take your hands off me. You feel me?
But that's real. That's huge too. So many big things, because like employees, no matter what place of work they're working at, they gotta receive something, and at the minimum, they gotta receive a paycheck, right? But when you start to receive information, you start to receive connection, you start to receive personal development, business development. You start to receive a culture that puts you in a position to win. You know, so I think that directly impacts retention. But that takes cultivation. You know, culture takes cultivation. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And I know culture is behavior, accepted behavior over a period of time. So even when you an accepted behavior within your business, or accepted behaviors in your business, there gotta be things that you don't accept as well. So like some places, if you show up, it's at 9 o'clock, it's 9:01. You got about 10 seconds before they shut that door.
Yeah.
You missed out the whole day. You know what I'm saying? Then you have some places where it's 9 o'clock. You put at 9:45 and be cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what do things like that reflect? And what industry are you in where that's okay? You know what I'm saying? So like in my industry, if that court hearing, it ain't me. It ain't the other lawyer. It ain't the paralegal. The court said 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
The way that you got to be there at 8:45. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't skip that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you miss that hearing, that could be somebody's business.
Yeah.
That could be somebody's child. That could be somebody's freedom. You know what I'm saying? So we got to adhere to those things. So setting a culture of timeliness, of how we speak to each other, of how we treat each other, of how we do work. You know, even a culture, this is huge too, a culture of how to ask for help. But there's some places, and I speak to other attorneys. I had the mindset to go right out of law school and start my firm. A lot of my colleagues went into work for government, work for different companies, work for different law firms or different agencies. They did their thing, different things. But we'll come back and we'll talk, you know what I'm saying? Because we're having different experiences. And there's some places that people work at, and the culture is you can't ask for help. You're deemed like you don't know nothing if you ask for help. Like, go figure it out. People are scared to ask for help. Yeah. And you kind of leave some out in the wind. Now they have a decision to either ask you and feel stupid or not ask you and have everybody look stupid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's so many different things.
That's the culture. Yeah. That's the culture. And that culture is in like how we were saying, the team building aspect. And it's like even like team meetings. That's when we go deeper when it comes to like you know, the team is like, okay, how's the team meetings going to be? How's the team meeting structured? Or how often do you have a team meeting? Is it every Monday? Is it every day? Is it 15 minutes? Is it an hour? Yeah. And then like in those team meetings, what are you encouraging? You know what I mean? Like, is it like, okay, if you need help with anything, like, okay, you need help with something, let's schedule some time and I'll jump on and we'll go through it together and work on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it in my calendar. Like, how do you respond to those type of things? Because that's the company culture that you're building. Like, okay, if you need help, I'll be able to like put a schedule and we could sit down 1-to-1 and like knock that out with you. You know what I mean? And even like the team meetings, it's like, okay, how are you going to facilitate? I feel like that was a learning curve for me as well, because it's like I didn't even like, okay, we're in production and there's so many different moving parts. And it's like, hold on, we got to meet, we got to finish this project, and it just, we got to figure out how to get all on the same page. Yeah, and it's like those team meetings. So I forgot what because we cover masterminds. So getting just the same way we set that environment where people not only get paid, but you learn while you work with us, right? The same thing where the type of events that I've been with. I've worked at different masterminds with one of my homeboy Icon, and I'm there covering the event, and the guy was talking about team management and like just scaling businesses and stuff like that, and the same type of stuff we're talking about now. Yeah. And one of them was the team meetings, but he broke it down on like how he structures and run his team meetings. Right? I still have those notes in my phone. Yeah. So I implemented that the next week. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, we're going to do team meetings. This is how we're going to do the team meetings. Then it's like, okay, then I start looking up on YouTube trying to figure out the best team meeting. Then you had to actually test out the test. That's true too. And see the response of like, hey, Raul, what you think about how we did these team meetings, how we can make it better? All right, cool. Let's run it back. Let's change a couple of things and do it for another 4 weeks and get it fine-tuned to the point where it's like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Let's just do it like lab work. You know what I mean? We cover, make sure we have all of the projects checked off. Let's work on some projects, knock out the things that we need to get done for the week, and just go on like that.
Yeah. No, that's real. Setting the expectations. Everybody's on that thing. Making sure everybody's on the same page. The same way that little dance is done at McDonald's, everybody needs to be on the same page with that dance, because within that dance, what if somebody burns the fries? Not intentionally, but it just messed up. Yeah. That messes everybody else's things up, but how do we react to that? You know what I'm saying? What's the culture when somebody makes a mistake? What's the culture when somebody does good? Too, recognition is huge. Yeah. There's a lot of people will leave jobs because they don't know what they have. Yeah. You have this A player doing A player stuff, and they never get recognized as an A player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not even looking for more money. They just want to know, like, hey, do you value me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's so many aspects to
even that's big. Like thinking about that, right? It's like we grew up in the Haitian and Jamaican culture, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
So your recognition is you hungry?
Yeah. Yeah, you ate.
Your recognition, you ate today?
Hey,
your recognition is
that's it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Why go on, dog? You look good, man. You look good.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's the recognition you gonna get. I look like y'all put on some weight, dog.
That's it.
They gonna talk about your weight or something.
That's it.
It's like either I'm getting too big or getting too small. I don't know what's happening, man.
The biggest compliment you can get in the Haitian community, "What fait sexy?" That's the biggest. Like, oh snap! You know, I might be doing something. Oh man.
Yeah, but like that's real talk though. Recognition, incentives.
Yeah.
Like even with clients, that's what I started doing. I started writing down like incentives, different types of incentives. Like I just I work with this company, Jules Box, and she makes like custom boxes for like, you know, presents that you could give out.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? So like anytime I know, like that's just something that I thought about, and she had the company that helped me out. But even making like a list of like, okay, they might like cigars, or like they into golfing, might get them some, you know what I mean? Just coming up with different incentives. And the same thing with like you said, like A players, like coming up with gifts and even thinking about that. So that's a conversation, not to make it say like, okay, we're gonna just do like a regular birthday thing or just like office stuff, but making something that's like one-to-one. And I'm sure bigger companies can't do one-to-one like that, but making an experience where it's like, okay, this is just for team building. So like, let's say for instance, this is a crazy idea, but Sparta, you know, like the Sparta like team race running through the mud and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that could be a fun team activity. Facts. Everybody get paid for, and we go out there and we do that. Or like conferences, you know, I know companies do that all the time.
I want to add in, and again, this is not legal advice. I'm an attorney, and disclaimer, don't take this as legal advice. But, not even but, wanted to add in, so when you have those team meetings and stuff, those are tax deductible meetings, right? So you can rent out a restaurant, you can rent out an event space. I know a firm, they actually rent out an island out in like Naples or something, and they have everybody pay for everybody's hotel and everything of that nature, and they have seminars, they have the serious stuff, the seminars, this is going on in the firm, this is going on, and then they have, all right, I got jet skis, I got yachts, I got this, I got this going on. And even I know, hopefully I'm not saying his title wrong, but I believe he's an industrial psychologist. So he breaks down how to cultivate company culture. Right, and it's somebody located in South Florida, Mario Lopez. We might have to get that band on the show. Yeah,
I might have to actually connect with him.
Yeah,
because he need to be connected with Content Factory.
Yeah, man, team building is huge, and that's what brings it all in. Because in the day, this entrepreneurship journey, you cannot do this thing alone. Yeah, and then when you putting on a team, putting a team together, whether it be for a project, whether it be for the foreseeable future, you got to identify, you know what I'm saying, what this person's bringing in, identify what they can, their capacity, what they want, you know what I'm saying, and then balance that with what do your business want. Yeah. Because you can have somebody come in, they're an A player, but they're not an A player for your team. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like having Peyton Manning on your team and then Tom Brady wants to join. What you gonna do here? You know what I'm saying? Like we already got that. Yeah. You know, so you got to identify those things within your business, within yourself. You know, what type of balance that you're going to be okay with. Or you mean that boss is going to be, oh, everybody loves me because I give them time off, because I let them come in whatever one, they walk all over me, but we get no business done. Or we all get business done and we could rock together. You know what I'm saying? How do we cultivate that type of balance? You know what I'm saying? That's definitely huge on this lonely entrepreneurship journey.
100%. So yeah, man, another episode of The Formula. Where the constant
is you.
Yep.
There it is.
Let's get it.